Well, hello everyone and welcome back to another video of some F1 2020 career mode. Today we're doing episode number 22 for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix at season 2, round number 7 I think it is. I can't quite remember how many rounds we've had. I think it's, or it might be 6 actually, I don't know. It's something around that ball figure. We're in the mid. It's the start of the European season. We're just quickly having a look at the R&D as well. But obviously, the main aim is going to be saving up for that ultimate Sashi R&D upgrade. I may have mentioned that before. Yes, first of all, I just want to say a huge thank you for we finally passed 200 subscribers. And we've done it before the end of the month as well, so that is absolutely fantastic. I'm going to push on this year. I think we can get 250 by the end of the year. That's going to be the main aim now, really. Definitely with the growth of the channel recently, there is no reason why we cannot increase the growth. But yes, thank you so much for 200 subscribers as well. And of course, I have got, if we do get to 250, then there is a little bit of a special thing that I've got maybe planned, but you'll find out when we get there. But yes, we're going to put a minor tyre upgrade. I feel that might be able to help us a little bit more with the alternative strategy should we have a bad qualifying, or maybe qualify earlier down the top 10, maybe doing a one-stop, going later, in the race rather than on the soft tyres, rather than being on the mediums for longer time. But yeah, we're heading for that ultimate aero that Sashi upgrade, and then we got these. Now that aero upgrades come in, we got all these minor aero upgrades. So that's probably going to be the department we tackle next. I want to probably get that if we have enough points for that major engine upgrade, then we'll probably go for it because it's literally 2 left. So that's my thinking there. If we do those 2 upgrades, then we'll upgrade the facility. That's my thing. But this is the one we want to go for. It's the monoclock structure. It's an ultimate weight reduction upgrade. And that's going to put us a 1,000 country mile away, and then we won't really need to do any of the other upgrades. We might look at a few more, but the focus then will shift to aero, reducing that as well. But yes, that's how we stand on the performance charts. Obviously, as usual, taking it with a pinch of salt. They still haven't fixed the performance in 1.08. This is 1.0, filmed 1.07, but it looks like they still haven't fixed it. It's not in the patch notes, but all the midfield teams, noticeably, are all converging on each other as well. So that's definitely going to be an interesting battle. If you jump into qualifying for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, we qualified 4th here in season 1 in an AlphaTauri, so I think we can go well. But while I was in the mid thing, I did my banker lap. Max Verstappen has crashed in the castle section. I don't have any footage before this, but he's doing a Rangi Nathan 180 million point turn. Trying to get out of the castle section. I mean, I don't even know what he's doing and he's just stuck there. And Hamilton's now stuck there. So, I mean, Verstappen's not having a good season anyway. He hasn't got any points, and it's not gone well. I mean, that just sums up Verstappen's season so far. Really, I don't expect him to be at Haas beyond the end of the season. If he is, I'll be very surprised. Yes, moving to our lap, obviously we're in the Red Bull wing. Set a lap that's 4th. George Russell, noticeably, is in 5th place, ahead of Bottas as well. Bottas, I'm not sure what's going on. I think since the last couple of updates, they may have changed a few of the AI. I think Bottas's AI has been toned down. Many people quietly behind the scenes by Codemasters. We set a purple sector 1. Can we get pole? This would be interesting. I haven't been on pole for about 3 years in a career mode episode, so it was Canada, I think. I know we took pole in Final Fantasy a few times, Season 4, but in career it virtually never happens. We touched the wall there. That's going to cost a little bit of time, but we're making it up, and we're losing positions down to P8 now. Make that. Oh, that was a nice corner there, though. I mean, 3.5 tenths up just through that one corner. Another purple middle sector. We're almost set there. A little bit slidey out that corner there as we come up to the line now. This, of course, is where our car is less optimal compared to the likes of the Ferrari, who, of course, has still got their illegal power unit in the back from 2019 in the game, compared to what they got, the miserable, pathetic slug that they got in the car. And it's going to be P2, I think that was. So we were P4 and now it's P2. Front row start then. Well, nevertheless, it's still the front row start. I can't remember the last time. It's been a very long time since we qualified in the front row. So I'll definitely take that. I mean, it's promising signs for the race if we can get the front row. I have put the IA on 96 for this episode. It will be put up to 97 for the following episode. Again, obviously they're not consistent from track to track as usual. Verstappen, of course, will be starting last because, of course, he got a 10 place penalty for blocking Hamilton. Nevertheless, it's time for the race. What can we do from our front row start?
And a warm welcome to you from Azadlik Square, heart of Baku and home, of course, to the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. With high speeds, tight corners and few runoff zones, many are expecting a safety car here today, so our drivers will have to stay very much on their toes and hopefully away from the barriers. Joining me for today's race once again is Anthony Davidson. Why don't we discuss Red Bull? We have a number of changes to the aerodynamic regulations this year, and the sides haven't looked good for them so far in terms of getting to grips with those changes.
There are a few downcast looks within the team this weekend. I think they've been hit fairly hard by the new regs. But this is only the first step down a long road of development, and even if they don't maximise their points today, there are plenty more up for grabs this season.
With the race minutes away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Sebastian Vettel will start on pole. Fantastic qualifying from the multiple world champion and a Red Bull alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Perez, Lewis Hamilton and Stroll, Ocon, Albon, Russell and Valtteri Bottas, Magnussen, Norris, Daniel Ricciardo and Gasly, Sainz, Giovinazzi, Daniel Kvyat and Nick de Vries. Latifi and Max Verstappen completes the grid. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track.
After the points finish last race, let's aim to keep the momentum going.
Does he not have anything else to say other than we need to keep this momentum going? I know we need to keep the momentum going. We're in a Red Bull. We're on the front row. Prefer last year's Jeff to this one at this rate with this starts. Well, anyway, fire the lights and away we go. And it's a great start as usual. Using the overtake to the advantage, and we had the advantage on the inside line, and Vettel had no chance there, and we take the lead of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. And really already I mean, apart from the Ferraris, we're already starting to pull away from Hamilton as well. And Hamilton might be under threat there from Perez. We'll take a quick look on the onboard in just a moment. Here it is, the onboard. And you can see that everybody's starting to slipstream each other. You see the Ferraris and myself are sort of going away. A little bit edgy. Hamilton didn't give Perez a lot of room, but Perez moves into 4th place. But already, it's only at the end of lap 2, and already to 2 seconds we're looking at now at Sebastian Vettel. As Jeff has put some weird strategy out to come in at the end of lap 2, we're going to ignore him as usual. As Leclerc now is trying to come through, he sets a new fastest lap of the Grand Prix. As ours was delayed there, updating our best time, which is a little bit slower, but Clerk actually keeps on trying the following lap as well. But this time he loses out to Sebastian Vettel, who shoves him out a little bit there. And Vettel kept ahead of Leclerc going into the pit stops. Leclerc and I are going in at the same time. Not a lot separation, so we've got the better Sashi, but he's got the better thing. We've been held slightly by the racing point. We're out in front of Gasly, and that held is actually going to cost us the race lead, because we come out behind Sebastian Vettel. We're going to actually almost come out behind Sergio Perez as well. Leclerc's lost out to Hamilton as well, as we've once again not Nicholas Latifi. He was a pain for us in Monaco. He really needs to get out of the way. That Williams is so slow in this series, and that is an unorthodox move. But when you're against a Williams, I don't think I've ever made a move into this corner on the outside. I know the inside I've made a few moves before, but the outside, it's not really it's not a conventional place to make a move. So I'll definitely take that move. As we jump to lap 9, we're on board with George Russell, who's using that illegal lap Ferrari parrying it to good use. Has gone around the outside of both Bottas and is now on the outside of Esteban Ocon, and this is for, I believe, P7 in this race. So, while saying that, there's a yellow flag, and Vettel's going slowly. He sort of blocks us there. That's going to help his teammate to come through, but Vettel is out of the race. Sebastian, Ferrari, typical in 2020 fashion, has bottled it. Well, that's one Ferrari down. We just got the other though. That's brought the other win into play. Charles Leclerc sets another new fastest lap. Our tyres on past their sell-by date really. And of course, we're struggling on the curbs there. We do not give Leclerc any room going into the wall. That's going to give us a little bit of a breathing space, but he's still going to be with a 1 second window, which is going to be a massive problem going into the start straight. But we do survive, moving to the final lap of the Grand Prix. He's got DRS once again. This is these. Having a look down the inside, we cut him off, and this is all going to be the run up to the line now. Obviously, he's not close enough here. We've got better sashing, but through this section, he's then closing in. He's taken 2/10 out of us. Perez is now closing in as well. Hamilton and Stroll too far back really to be able to capitalise on anything. And Russell as well, just there, is stopped. So the pace, not able to break away from the Ferraris like we would do, but nevertheless, Leclerc is closing in. Is it going to be enough? He's getting closer, 2.5 tenths up. We're weaving to celebrate the win, but Leclerc's going to have a go. And that was so close at the finish. But it is our first race win for Red Bull. Get in.
Here we are then, it's victory in Azerbaijan. Great work from the whole team here at the track and back at the factory as well. And some pretty handy driving for good measure. Anthony Davidson, a resounding victory today. What set them apart from the rest?
Well, I honestly feel it was down to the driver and car today. I mean, we can talk driver skill all day, but if you don't have a solid team to back that, you're never going to get anywhere. When you hit that sweet spot of having both an excellent driver and an incredible car, that's when you see results like those we witnessed today.
Red Bull put up an outstanding fight for the front position today, and it's great to see it paid off for them. They do so much for the sport that you can't help but be delighted by today's race win.
So yes, victory. finally, we've actually managed to get victory for Red Bull. It's come at Azerbaijan as well, which is sort of coming a good track for me. I mean, we won in F1 E-Mod on F1 2019, and since then we've sort of turned this track into a good track for us now, compared to recent games. Leclerc, I think he'll take P2. I'm not sure entirely where the Ferrari is on pace. Perez, I'm sure Racing Point will be happy, especially the fact that the fake Mercedes has finished ahead of the real one. In actual fact, Bottas, 12th place. Albon only 8th as well. So AlphaTauri and Russell going well. Nothing. In fact, only 1 point for Albon, and that's all. That 1 point is what separates myself and Albon in the Drivers' Championship. How's the momentum changed? Because of course we've struggled up to now for pace and performance in the Red Bull. Yes, we got that third at Monaco in the previous race, but Albon was ahead of us by a comfortable margin. But now, how's the ball changed? As it swung, as you see, Norris and of course the two Haas and the Williams still yet to score. McLaren must be devastated with that performance. We're closing in on the constructors as well. Fight ultimately just the start, but this is how close it was. I didn't actually realise how close it was as I was weaving up to the line. I know you guys have probably seen closer. It's not really a photo finish. He's half a car length behind. But it's definitely a close finish, and the closest for some time.
Fans really seem to enjoy that. You made it look easy. How do you feel about this team's performance this season?
They're the B team. I don't need to worry about them, really. I would say, though, K-Man keeps performing, getting promoted.
Were you struggling for grip?
I don't remember scraping the walls. I don't know what you're on about, Claire. No comment there.
Thank you for your time.
Stupid questions as usual from Claire there. No surprise. We've levelled up to level 11 on our driver acclaim, which is good. Hopefully we can then push for more driver perks. But yes, we've only got a short run down to the Canadian Grand Prix, which doesn't give us a lot of time to get R&D points. But obviously we're still safe. We've got 2,000 R&D points, so probably, maybe not the next episode, but the episode after. Which will be Austria, I believe. Is it Austria? It'll be either France or Austria. I can't remember which order it is. We will be purchasing that ultimate weight reduction upgrade, which will then put us comfortably clear. It'll help in straight line, obviously. It'll help in cornering. It'll just be a lot of help here as well. So yes, and that will probably finish off. We'll probably then just finish off those couple of minor ones and then move on to the aero side where the minor ones, because the R&D points are ridiculously expensive in this career mode for Red Bull. So obviously we'll probably come back and focus on Sashi maybe at a later date, depending on what happens. Maybe there'll be a regulation change. We don't know. We haven't got to that part of the season yet. Although there was a regulation change for season 1 and season 2, so there might be one between. There may or may not be one between season 1 and season 2. One thing I am going to notice is the energy store wear. That's a concern. And the energy, the R&D upgrade for the energy store is this one on the bottom far left. Which is annoying. So we've got to go through 3 upgrades. That's 3,000 resource points before we can upgrade that. So that's a concern. That might mean we have to probably, rather than spending those resource points, we'll probably end up instead take a grid penalty at some point. Possibly Silverstone again. I don't know. Maybe France. I'm not entirely sure. It won't be at Canada. I can tell you. Definitely won't be at Canada. But yes, if you have enjoyed, then leave a like. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. See more episodes of the F1 2020 Red Bull Crew Mode. There might be an episode tomorrow or Wednesday. I've got to fit in some more modding as well at some point. But yes, until then, I'll see you next time. Take care, thank you so much for watching, enjoy your day, and goodbye.